All right, so here's what I'm learning as we're working on a 288 acre waste campus with rail. And again, I didn't even know that much about rail until about a couple weeks ago. So let me kind of break this down for you. So what goes into creating a waste campus? So what we're doing right now is we're creating just a conceptual plan and making sure that we can get all the zonings prepared for the waste campus. It's about, again, 288 acres, and it's actually going to be right in front of the landfill. Basically, why is this important is because if you live inside of America, waste is kind of a big deal. The only thing is a lot of times it's very inefficient if the government handles it, but it's very efficient if private organizations handle it. And the best reason why is because, like one, for example, in Polk County, we don't have recycling anymore. And there's a lot of other items that can lower somebody's actual trash bill that a lot of times individuals don't even think about. And that's fine. That's why the whole point of having professionals come in here and handle it. So on our side as real estate developers, what we handle is the land aspect and coming up with a conceptual plan so somebody who is actually an expert can execute. So here's a couple things on the waste campus. So let me explain. So number one is you want to make sure that you actually have the land and you have the zoning. Period. Number two is, do you have for us, we have man-made lakes that we do have what they call a cross drainage agreement, and we already completed the studies of a bathymetric survey. If you have a man-made lake, you want to make sure what is the actual dimensions within the lake and what is the procedures that you can actually fill it. Where's the water going to go? Can you fill it? If it's man-made, technically you could do a lot. You could do whatever you want with it. You just have to have some kind of exit plan and you have to have the studies. That's where the bathymetric survey comes into play. You need that. That's basically like a topo-boundary tree survey. Instead of for land, it's for a lake. It basically zones out every single thing inside of your lake. Then what you're going to need also is a cross drainage agreement. That agreement is going to go between all of the owners around the lake, basically showcasing that you have control of the lake and you can do whatever you want with the lake. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this stuff, but those are the items that we already have, just FYI, on our lake. Now you've got to kind of look, and I've got my notes in front of me. You've got to think about a couple things. If you have rail coming in, how many cars of rail do you have coming in? Do you have an agreement with CSX? Do you have the letter of approval from CSX or any other train company that basically, and I'm drinking coffee today as well. Do you have, God bless all those coffee drinkers out there, thank you. It's amazing. Almond milk is the way to go, especially when you get over 40. I don't know what it is, but it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, keep on going. So make sure you get the letter of approval from the rail company stating how many rail cars could come in. But you got to make sure that you actually talk to their industrial development department, and they've looked at the site, they've approved the site. You send them the parcel ID number, the map of the site, and they know exactly what they're looking at. And then you have a conceptual plan of what's possible on the site as well. These are huge items that you really have to consider. The other item as well in a campus, in a waste campus, is there going to be recycling at a recycling area? How large is that area going to be? Jesus Lord, it's early. The other, a yard waste. Where's the yard waste going? Where is fleet parking going to go? Are you going to have a solar field? Are you going to have a hazard waste station or a hazard waste center as well? You're going to have what they call rail load out. I believe that's basically, when rail comes in, where is it going to be loading out? How is that going to look as well? There's is there going to be public drop off for vehicles, heavy vehicles, non-vehicles, a scale out area, which is inbound, outbound, truck queue lanes as well for vehicles coming in for the landfill. What does that look like? Drop off. Is there going to be an area also for like tire and rubber drop offs? These are huge and essential for any kind of city or community. A lot of times the county will attempt to take it on, but again, they're not very efficient, because what happens, you could always tell a county is not efficient whenever they say, hey, we're just going to raise the price. Okay, got it. That's the easy way out. So what are you doing to become more efficient though? That's the catch. And so no poo-pooing on anybody that owns a landfill. What I mean is there's a difference between government agencies, which I still not have found one that has been efficient at all, compared to private agencies that their goal is maximum efficiency because the reward is there. If you do a good job, you get rewarded, especially here in America. And if you don't, you don't. Basically, you're like, okay, I learned something. Also, when it comes down to it, kind of next steps for us that we're looking for is we're finalizing a talk with Kimley and Horn. That's a civil engineer group. That's not a person. I actually thought that was a person back in the day. So we have a talk on Thursday related to the waste campus, how we're moving forward with it, how we're laying it out. They're the professionals. We are not. Then we've got to meet also with the county, again, which we have met with the county already on this because the landfill attempted to purchase our site before all this. So obviously, if they were purchasing it, they wanted to expand the landfill, and their number was pretty interesting. They basically just said, we'll pay for it what you paid for it. Okay, got it. Yeah, that's not gonna work. So anyway, we'll keep on moving forward here. So what we're planning on doing is partnering potentially with a almost like waste management, but professionals that have actually do this for a living. And we're bringing the land, we're bringing the opportunity, we're making sure that the zoning is going to be there, and then potentially to partner with them. It could be a land lease, it could be a straight purchase, it could be a whole bunch of different things. But that's currently what I'm working on. Is these are the lessons I'm working on as working on a 288 waste campus. So anyway, hopefully you're learning something from this. Enjoy the ride because I'm going to keep on giving out content as much as I possibly can because I think this is just cool stuff. Like who else? I don't know. To me, it's like, it's neat the stuff that you start learning and working on when it comes down to development because, we live on real estate, literally. We're on real estate all the time, every day, nonstop. And it's interesting because in school, you don't learn anything about what you're actually on every single day. Like you're on real estate every day, but there's nothing taught about land zonings unless you get really super specialized when you get older or you have family members that are involved, and they usually share superficial because on the development side, it really does take millions and millions of dollars to really understand it. I've been super blessed to be involved in huge projects that I've had some firsthand knowledge on even the negotiations of these larger companies, but I just really found how rare it really is. So that's kind of my goal, is to share with you the inside of what I'm working on because I just don't see too many people actually discussing it in what I call plain language. So it is what it is. All right. If you got something out of it, fantastic. If you didn't, I don't know where you're here. And you could also go to trueinvestors.com if you want to check out a whole bunch of other case studies. If you've got sites that you think are interesting, probably we could do something with, fantastic. Go to the website and we'll see what we could do. So, bye.